Jolly good. Now, if you just follow me. This way. And, slightly round. Thank you. I think about there. That's fine.
Oh, Richard, not there. Piano's a delicate instrument. You just can't put them anywhere. No draft, no draft. I thought you'd have known better. You must be used to this kind of thing. And don't bang it. Oh, never mind.
Hello, good afternoon. I received a letter regarding pregnancy test number 3674096. I was wondering if I could speak to anyone about it.
4096. I'm sorry, the line is engaged at the moment.
Oh, I see. Well, could they phone me back, please? My number's on the letter.
Will do.
Thank you.
It's undignified, Richard. Undignified.
Once in a lifetime, sir.
Once too often.
Oh, it shows appreciation.
Appreciation of what?
Oh, I'm sure so. The staff.
The staff couldn't care less, Richard. You know that perfectly well.
I'm sure we shall all miss you, sir.
Oh, of course they won't. Look, I've been here 15 years, Richard. 15 years in this office. I'm part of the furniture. They'll be glad to see the back of me.
Oh, I hardly think so.
Oh, yes, I know human nature. Of course they will. They want a new face, new blood. A new ogre to kick.
Oh, I think ogres rather too strong, sir, isn't it? No, I'm sure there's a great deal of affection among the staff. Hence the party.
Affection has no place in a bank.
Well, of course, affection is perhaps the wrong word, but...
You've always been too soft.
Yes, sir.
And so have I. Much too sentimental, too considerate.
Oh, I wouldn't have said...
And sentimentality has no place in the bank.
No, sir.
Where would we be, Richard, if we took pity on all bad accounts?
Well, nowhere, of course, sir.
I remember when I first came here, there was an old woman. Now, what was her name?
Granger, sir.
That's it. Old Mother Granger.
Yes, you have mentioned her before, sir.
She had run an overdraft with us for 7 years, Richard. 7 years.
Yes, sir.
I soon put an end to that. Widow or no widow. You can't have that sort of thing. No income at all, just living off the bank.
Well, no more of these worries, sir.
Well, I just hope it doesn't all go to pot.
Oh, I'm sure it won't, sir. Well, let's hope not.
I recommended you, you know.
Yes, I know, sir.
I told them you were the man.
Yes, thank you.
I said there is one man that knows this branch almost as well as I do.
It's awfully kind of you, sir.
I mean, we all make mistakes, Richard.
How do you mean, sir?
Well, I've made mistakes in the past, but as I said, that business last year was, well, not very serious after all.
That was mentioned again, was it, sir?
Well, you can't ignore these things, Richard. You can't ignore them.
No, sir.
I had to bring it up for your sake.
Of course, yes, I see that, sir.
I made it quite clear that £100 against all that you must have saved the bank in one way or another. I mean, £100. It wasn't as if you'd misappropriated the money. Oh, I was very firm about that. I said mistakes are one thing, I said, but the man is honest. There is no question of that. His honesty is not at all in question. I made that quite clear.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it?
I'd like your advice, sir, as a man of experience.
Well, I'm in rather a hurry.
It's rather important, actually, sir. You see, we've worked out this competition between ourselves. I'll try and explain it to you, sir. It's quite simple. We've got this list. All these girls, all the best in the bank, you see, and we're asking them which one they fancy, and the one that comes out of the boat is a bottle of whiskey.
I think that's a rotten idea. I strongly advise you against it.
Yes? Speaking?
Lady Carrier, did you get our letter?
Oh, yes. Yes, I've already got your letter, thanks. I was just wondering, there's no doubt about it, I suppose.
Positive. What doubt can there be?
No, none. Negative can be wrong, positive always right. Oh, well, thank you anyway.
Secretarial staff receive personal calls between 1 and 2 and 5 and 6. What time is it now, Julia?
4:50.
If we let any Tom, Dick or Harry, or any Mary, Joan or Julia use the telephone, the lines may be blocked for important people. Or perhaps an apology would be in order.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. My caller rang 11 minutes earlier than instructed.
Who was it?
A personal call.
Not at 4:50, it wasn't. At dictation then, Julia.
What, now?
We do have our clients to consider, as well as your social
There's a
arrangements.
meeting of the party committee.
I don't see that the retirement of the manager is a good enough excuse for us all giving up work.
Everyone else has been allowed off.
You're not at school now. Do try and grow up.
What you need is a male secretary.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Yes, you did. You said perhaps I should have a male secretary. Well, for your information, I would if I could.
Well, why don't you, then?
They cost too much. So one has to pay for their dreary wives and children, too.
And they're not so decorative, either.
What trust you do put in that ordinary young fleshiness of yours? Right, now, a letter to Miss Hatton. We're favoured with your letter of the 15th. While I appreciate your concern over the loan repayment, I'm afraid I cannot agree to your suggested rate. Put it politely, Julia, in your inimitable and conventional way. What illogical creatures these women are. She knows perfectly well that £10 a month will get us nowhere. How she ever got in this mess in the first place. Right, go on. I understand that your ex-husband is under court order to pay £1,700 per annum alimony through his solicitors. Am I going too fast for you?
No.
It would therefore seem advisable that this sum should be paid to us and that we should endeavour to regulate your expenditure, etc., etc. You know what I want to say. Please finish it. Make it short, but anything but sweet.
Hello.
What do you want?
Excuse me, sir, I've come to get Julia for the party committee.
Party committee?
It started 10 minutes ago.
Well, does the whole world have to stop?
Well, our manager is retiring after all.
Oh, I give up.
We want everything to look nice for the party. No one else objected.
Offices are not run for the entertainment of the staff. Now, if I could pray, I'd cry to God, bring back the unemployment pool and sanity.
But, sir...
Doesn't like parties, Rich.
No, I do not. If she rings, tell her I'm on my way. And I want that letter typed now, please.
Did I drive him away?
Yes, thank you.
It's not my personal freshness, is it, Julia? I hate it when I walk into an office and other people walk out. It's been happening all day.
When she rings.
Who?
Oh, his wife, Boofy. She must have been awful this morning. He's been dreadful all day, and I keep feeling sick.
Can't you leave that?
No, just this one.
Why do you feel sick? Are you pregnant?
Yes.
I was joking.
Not.
Is it Paul's? How lovely.
Is it?
Well, of course, don't you think so? A little baby. Oh, you are lucky. You're getting married anyway, aren't you? What does he say? Is he pleased?
No, I haven't told him yet. I haven't had a chance.
Not a chance.
Well, I mean to tell him.
When?
After the meeting.
Well, come on then, or we'll be too late.
Always late. Trouble is, it doesn't seem to have much to do with him.
Immaculate conception, is it?
It's just that making love doesn't seem to have much to do with making babies, does it?
I wouldn't know.
We used to go down to the stationery cupboard at lunchtime. There were stacks of polythene bags down there, all soft and slippery. He thought I was on the pill. Never liked the idea. Never thought it would happen.
Didn't you tell him?
No.
Why to be angry? I mean, you've cheated him.
I haven't cheated him. I mean, I was the one to have the baby, not him.
He's the one who's going to have to marry you.
Hey. You seem more upset than I am.
Upset? Me upset? Why should I be upset? It's nice work if you can get it, that sort of thing. Go on.
Well, you won't tell anyone, will you?
Of course I won't. What sort of person do you think I am?
I don't know. I'm not the sort of person I thought I was.
We'll get them all down, Cracker. You got Esther?
Yeah, I've got Esther. 13 now.
We're in the red knicker department now. Not Rita?
Yeah.
Rita,
Yeah, she's
luscious
there.
Rita.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Roy. Hello, Cracker. What have we got a piano for? Can't we have a record player?
If you ever came to meetings on time, you'd know the answer. What's the matter with you, Julia?
Nothing. I'm fine. Well, carry on, carry on. Or have I interrupted something?
Perhaps we should tell her. Well, she's on the committee too. The old man's been making noises again. Says the party ought to be cancelled. Banks aren't for drinking in, he says.
Well, no dancing come to that.
It was his idea for the piano.
Let's forget about it. Let's move on to the great bridge roll scandal. That's more Julia style.
I don't see why she shouldn't know.
Foxy hophead brain on bridge rolls, Cracker. Do us a favour.
Look, I'm going to resign from this committee. I'm not going to be laughed at. I don't know why I'm on it anyway. I'm an anarchist.
Oh, shut
Everyone knows I'm an anarchist.
Oh,
That's
come
why they
on,
asked me to
Cracker.
try and
It hasn't
subvert me.
worked.
It hasn't worked. You can't disguise the sickness of the system. It keeps
Cracker.
erupting.
Get on
Well,
with
look.
Give me that.
Party game number 1, men only. Office popularity poll. Arrange in order of merit with reasons the 6 girls you'd most like to lay. Bottle of scotch for most original entry.
You're not supposed to see that. It does say men only, you know.
Does that include you lot?
Yeah.
Birds are birds.
Can we have a woman-only competition too? The man we'd most like to lay, and we'll have him for the prize, thanks.
You see? Trouble. The minute a bird joins a committee meeting, bloody trouble.
Paul, can I have a word with you?
Go on, talk away.
Not here, somewhere private, after the meeting.
No, I'll go for a drink with the boys.
Why can't you come for a drink with me?
Well, our little twosome, excluding all the others. Great walls of matrimony creeping in. Can't it wait?
Sorry.
I'll see you at the party tonight, all right? And listen, don't wear that dress that looks as if you're just going to bed.
Well, they'll have trouble with their livers. They'll stay away from work. You have made it quite clear that work starts at 9 tomorrow sharp.
We must be realistic. You only retire once in a lifetime, sir.
If there's an inspector on your doorstep in the morning, Richard.
We shall clear up tonight, sir. Don't worry.
Oh, it's a lovely party. There are lovely people to work with.
Have you asked for a rise lately?
Oh, I couldn't dream of it. I'm having a hard time, didn't you know?
You know what I heard? £100 on a party saves £1,000 on
Well, I'll pay them some more. Would you like my playing buffet? Oh, you don't mind if I call you buffet?
No, manager, please do. Oh, your playing so reminds me of old times.
I think it's smashing, sir. Smashing.
Didn't you bring your dress with you this morning?
This one.
Oh.
I thought this one would be more suitable for the party.
Oh. I hate parties. Do you like my dress? It's my mother's. She wore it in 1955 to a Masonic ladies' night. My father was head mason that year. Mother says the older a dress is these days, the more fashionable it is. I'm sure my mother hates me. I wish I had your courage. You look like a model in a magazine, only it would just look like a mistake on me. The baby doesn't show a bit yet, does it? Hush! There's nothing wrong in having a baby, it's natural. Will Paul mind you losing your figure? I mean, he's rather particular, isn't he?
Hardly checked up on his case. No? Have you seen Paul?
Haven't you? You mean you haven't told him yet?
I haven't had a chance.
Well, I hope it'll be all right. You know what men are. Actually, I did see him a bit earlier. He was with a girl.
Who?
The little tart from the tea trolley. You know, the blonde one. She's ever so thick. You'll get fed up with her in 2 minutes.
Where?
In his office. They're doing a poll. The girl they'd most like to lay. You'll come top, of course. I mean, look at you. You look available. It counts for a lot.
Thanks.
Well, don't mention it. I'm available too, of course. Only who wants to avail themselves of someone
wait, I just phoned him now.
No,
but before I...
There's Paul. Oh, where's the girl? There she is. I told you should have believed me, Julia. Oh, but I shouldn't worry about her. You know what Paul is with girls. He'll just make use of them if he will. It's principle with him, really. I'm sure it's you he really loves.
It's no use, Rachel. I'm not rising.
What do you mean? Not rising? You're my friend. I'm not trying to upset you, Julia, if that's what you think. Why should I?
I've no idea, but you are, and I'd wish you'd stop it.
I'm sorry, Julia, but you know you're so cold.
What do you want me to do? Shout and scream?
Oh, yes, something.
It's just a bit stunned, really.
Your boss is looking at you. Do you think he's going to make a pass at you? I bet he does.
He's more likely to give me my cards for indecent exposure. He doesn't like to think I'm human.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes?
Does she wear more than that in the office?
Who? Oh, my secretary. I suppose so. I don't notice. All these girls look alike to me. Plastic packages.
Not boring for you, Dickie, dear.
I remember parties as a child. Now, they were nice. Nothing's been the same since, really. Presents, raisins, nuts. And my father dressing up. He likes dressing up. That's why he was a mason. Grown-up parties aren't really like that, are they? It's all a question of order of layability and coming last, and no one asking one to dance. Or even listening when you talk to them. You're not very sympathetic, are you?
I'm sorry, Rachel, if that's what you want me to say. Oh, look, there's Cracker.
I dreamt I was pregnant last night. Isn't that funny? And then I woke up screaming.
I thought I was the one who was meant to have problems, not you. Hi, Cracker.
Oh, burn, baby, burn.
What's the matter with you?
They're all looking at me.
Looking at me, too.
No, but you're playing their game.
Oh, go and talk to Rachel. You'd be quite happy, the two of you, complaining.
Rachel?
Why not?
Look at what she's wearing.
Oh.
Me and my friend thought that was ever so clever of you. I mean...
You're late.
Yes. Yes, it's quite right to tell them. Perfectly. Thrift has to be mentioned, and truth is important. Well, it's always important. Yes, yes, I shall make a point of that. I shall say how essential it is always to be truthful and loyal, clean and decent. Yes, now decency, now that's something you always get in banking. Yes, decency.
You should put it on the table.
Well,
I mean, you shouldn't have to go and
Well, go and ask for some mustard.
It's a small point, Dickie.
No,
Above all, I would like to leave you with this one thought, this one gleaming thought gained from my years of experience, and there's no question of my experience. I mean, do you realize, the younger ones amongst you, that I was in banking, I was a junior clerk in banking before, long before many of you were even born, so there is no question of my experience of life.
Well, I mean, it's up to you, of course. I don't really... That doesn't seem to me to have anything to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. You are going to have to go.
No, I'm unfair.
What could you ask for a transfer? Could you get a better position in a transfer? Could you get a managership in a smaller?
Do you know why I'm retiring? I mean, what am I going to do? What the devil am I going to do all day? I mean, every day. Day after day. Oh.
Hello, dear. Looking for Paul?
Not really.
Yeah, that's right. I shouldn't bother him. Have a bridge roll. Stay and have a chat. Like your dress. Well, the girl's got something to show. Why shouldn't she show it? Too fish filling, bit dry at the edges still. Never mind. Nice to have a party, isn't it?
I suppose so.
You better wash that man right out of your hair and send him on his way. Oh, don't take them so seriously, dear. Leave them at their own game. Love them and leave them. Never run after them. I've been fighting them off all my life. Swatting them like flies. Of course, I've got it, you know. Essay, if you like. Sex appeal. You can tell that from my hands. Here, look at that. Look at that circle of Venus. Now, if you're looking for a man, the way to find him is to run in the opposite direction.
Dance?
What's in this? You must be joking.
Oh, come on.
All right.
I've known him, man.
Hey, what's all this? Come on, Julia, I got something to tell you.
What about Paul?
Oh, Paul, forget about Paul. He's not important. Ah, that's better. I'll tell you a secret. I voted for you in the poll. Shall I give you my reasons why, in detail?
I don't want to know, thanks.
Quite the lady. You look down on me.
Don't, Roy.
Why are you so standoffish sometimes? You office birds are all the same.
It's not true.
Well, you're not interested in what I think of you.
Julia's pregnant, you know. It's supposed to be a secret, but you're her friend. She told Paul she was on the pill, but she wasn't. What a thing to do.
Well, you see, you can't even be bothered listening to what I say, can you?
I'm sorry, Roy. It's just that I don't feel very well.
In other words, the sight of me makes you sick.
Oh, stop it, Roy.
Well, it's not fair. I put you on top of my list, and you're not even pleased.
Pleased? Why should I be pleased? Oh, you wouldn't understand.
Too crude for you, am I? You birds make me sick. You tart yourself up to look like that. You half undress yourself. And then you bleat about your soul.
There's no harm in trying to look nice.
Well, come downstairs then.
To?
Where you go with Paul?
What do you mean?
The stationery cupboard. Or aren't I good enough?
What do you know about that?
Paul told me. Everyone knows.
He wouldn't do that. We're engaged.
You're joking.
We are engaged. He said so.
Well, that's not how he put it to me.
Oh, you're jealous. You're making it out.
You should have kept running, girl. Well, you know what Paul's like. If he fancies someone, that's fine. But the minute they begin to fancy him, he thinks, what a crummy bird she must be, fancying someone like me. And that's the end of that.
Oh, go away and leave me alone.
It's all right, Julia. I'm going to start with the bottom of my list, not the top.
Did I look silly dancing with Cracker? Did people stare?
I didn't think so.
He kept saying they were.
Oh, he's like that.
Do you think my arms are too long?
Too long for what?
Well, sometimes I don't know what to do with them. They keep getting in the way. I like this party better now. At least somebody asked me to dance, even if it was only Cracker. I told him, I hope you don't mind, about the baby. Well, you didn't tell me it was a secret, did you?
I wish.
You wish what, Julia?
I wish
what?
People would mind their own bloody business.
But you did. Tell me, you did.
There's no reason to go telling everyone.
Well, I only thought...
Oh, I hate the human race. I hate it.
I think that's a miserable, negative thing to say. After all, you're the one who's going to increase it, aren't you? Quite deliberately. Nobody has to have a baby these days if they don't want to.
Drink?
Thank you.
What a lovely dress.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, no, you look really smashing. I like a bird with a bit of a figure. Something to get your teeth into. I expect a lot of people think so.
I'm not exactly a mass of tooth marks.
Yet.
Don't be like that.
What's the matter with you?
In your condition, you mustn't tire yourself. You've got the future of the human race in there. You've got to look after it.
What about me? Don't I count anymore?
You're a precious vehicle, Julia, that's all.
Thanks.
Now, you're not going to get married, are you, or anything silly? Marriage is an outmoded institution. It's too claustrophobic for a growing child. I mean, one man, one woman, shut up in a tiny little private box. What kind of upbringing's that?
What are you talking about?
The future, Julia.
Look, if you're trying to tell me something, Cracker, I want a father for my baby.
But why just one? Why not a dozen? In natural communities, no one knows who the father is. No one cares. Well, that's how it ought to be. Everyone loving everyone.
Yes.
Now, I know a commune down in Surrey. I'll introduce you. Really good, beautiful people. They'll help you. They live off the land.
What, in the middle of winter?
It's warm. They've got fires.
And what do they burn? The furniture.
Oh, don't be like that, Julia. Well, I know you can't help it. But for the sake of the baby, try...
Try what?
To think lovely thoughts.
Oh, I won't.
But you can't. I mean, it's not very sensible, Julia. I saw him just now in the buffet. He was with that blonde from the tea trolley. I said, I hear you're going to be a father. Great, man. And he just turned and stared at me. He wasn't at all pleased. I mean, it upset me, Julia. Are you sure it's his baby?
Yes!
Well, I think it's a shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? If you'd gather round the piano.
So Cracker tells me that you're expecting a baby.
That's right.
And Cracker is a father.
One piece. It is with great pleasure that I, on behalf of the whole staff of this band, present to Mr. Bourne, our manager, these golf clubs.
So, what I would like to say is, I have been in banking for 40 years, and every single one of them has been happy. Well, there have been difficult times, of course. Times when I longed for adventure, when I dreamt of charging off into some romantic mist. But in the end, I stayed, and I want you to think about that. However unexciting the years ahead may appear, however quiet, the bank will give you a future, And there are a lot of you here who are still young enough to have dreams, but believe me, it is worth sticking it out. Boys and girls. And there's quite a prospect for girls in banking now. All of you, just stick to it, and in the end you won't regret it. Finally, I would like to thank you again for the golf clubs. And I shall think of you every morning, knowing that you're all working in here, computers and all. Yes, I'll think of you. Thank you.
Excellent speech, I thought, didn't you? Excellent. Perhaps we should have a few hymns now. After all, our cups should be running over with festivity and joy. I see yours is empty, Audrey. I might have another drink here. Scotch.
That's what I call a real gentleman. There aren't very many of them about these days.
Have a think.
Well, yes, there's a couple of glass, what? No, still no.
What I always say is, women are their own worst enemies. What? Well, look at your dress.
What's wrong with it?
Use me and throw me away, it's all that says. It's all right, I suppose, in the short term. Let's just look on the bright side. Your boss is quite a dish, isn't he? Highly sexed man, I would have thought. Is he?
I've no idea.
No. His wife's very jealous of him. That's a sure way to lose a man. I wonder how old she is.
I've no idea. Does it matter?
Round and round we go, you and me. You steer, I follow. All dressed up and doing your duty and bored to hell. You don't really want to be with me, do you?
I never find anyone I want to be with.
Where's Paul?
I've no idea.
Oh.
I'm not responsible for him.
Well, he said he was coming to talk to you.
Did he?
Only I want to go soon.
Well, I'm sure he'll be delighted.
I don't know what you've got to be so snooty about.
Look, wouldn't you say those were the hands of a girl of 20? Of course, I never do any housework. Never been married. Oh, washing nappies. That
Audrey?
makes it... Thank you.
Come, Julia. I'd like to have a word with you.
How sweet.
Yes, so do I. Well?
That dress is disgusting. It's cheap. Does Cracker like it?
Cracker's not the father, you are.
Well, I find that very hard to believe. I mean, you told Cracker first. You didn't see fit to tell me, did you?
It wasn't me.
What? Pregnant by proxy? Amazing.
I'm pregnant by you.
How crude you women are. Why can't you say something delicate like, Paul, I've been visited by the stork or something?
Because I was bloody visited by you.
And others, I should imagine.
What now?
Well, you came out top of that poll, didn't you? I mean, for sheer layability, Julia takes a biscuit.
Did I?
There's nothing to be proud of, you know. I imagine those men knew what they were talking about.
Oh, so that's it.
What do you mean, that's it? What's it?
You're sulking because I won your silly competition.
There's no point in continuing this conversation, is there?
Then go away.
I expect very little from this world. But I do not expect freaked-out squirts like Cracker coming up and telling me that you're pregnant. I've had a right, Charlie.
I'm sorry.
Especially when I'm with another girl.
No, I'm not. I take it back.
Well, you can't. You said it. Jealous of Ellen. Listen, when you're a wife at home, this is going to happen all the time. There are always women in offices. Besides, Ellen likes to help.
I would have helped.
You would have cheated. It's in your nature.
It's not.
You said you were on the pill.
I was. On and off.
I see. You haven't got a very serious nature, have you?
Not as trivial as
Well, how's
yours.
my nature trivial, then?
You told that pig, Roy, that about us in the stationery cupboard.
Roy is my friend. Kindly don't call him a pig.
How could you do that? Dragging me down like that in front of everyone.
Interesting. How the true, real suburban Julia emerges under stress?
I am not under stress.
No, 22 and newly pregnant with an unclaimed child.
I don't need you. I can do without you.
I rather think you do.
I hate you.
Yes, I thought so, that's it. Am I supposed to marry somebody who hates me? What kind of future is there in that?
Marriage? You said anything about marriage?
I presume that's why you got yourself pregnant.
It takes two. It takes two.
Not these days. Not these days.
Oh, you'd be the last person on earth I'd marry. Any decent man would be looking after me, being nice to me. But all you can do is make me feel as angry and as miserable and as horrible as possible.
Oh, having a good time? Oh, yes, yes, you are having a good time. You won't catch a cold?
Oh, why should I?
No. Oh, you won't forget, by the way, we must clear up before we go. You couldn't have the inspectors finding all this mess in the morning.
Inspector, sir?
Yes, well, you never know. This might be just the occasion when, well, you won't be staying too long, I
wish there was a great wall running down the middle of this country with the men on one side and the women on the other. Then perhaps we'd get some peace.
Feminist.
Oh, that's how I'll end up. Look at me now, pregnant and deserted.
Blackmailer.
Don't worry, I can do without you. It's only a baby. I can earn. I can put it in a nursery. I can give it away, come to
You're
that.
not fit to be a mother, are you? I'll have it removed from your custody if I have to marry you to do it.
Cracker was right. And I'd certainly prefer him to be the father of my baby than you.
Tell you something. I voted for you in the competition. What do you think about that?
Do you like the colour? Shows off the figure nice, don't it?
Yeah.
Of course, I could have had the pink one, but I thought it looked cheap.
Excuse me?
You know, I mean, this is a bit more sort of...
Well, I'm back, Ellen.
Oh. You shouldn't quarrel with him, Julia. You can't afford to.
Yes, I can.
You haven't any judgment. Girls don't when they're pregnant. I've got this friend who's a nurse, and she says that women in the first 3 months of pregnancy are mad.
They are to be pregnant in the first place.
Oh, don't be like that. Now, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
I'm going to do exactly what I want. I'm not going to be controlled. She can wriggle and squirm and blame as much as she likes, but she needs me now, and I don't need her. I'm going to do exactly what I like, and I will. This is where real life begins. I mean, what would you do if you were pregnant?
Can't understand it. I just can't understand it. Why Ellen? She's so stupid. Is that what men like? Is it because I'm so clever, Julia, that I'm so unpopular?
She appeals to primitive tastes, I guess.
I didn't even get a mention in the popularity poll.
Told you that.
Roy.
Oh, horrid of him.
Well, I wouldn't go home with him, so he felt nasty. I'm not repressed or old-fashioned or anything, Julia. Honestly, I'm not. I just didn't want to. What are you doing?
I'm going to write him a letter.
What's someone like me to do? The world's full of people who will. That's what Roy says, and he's right.
You mixed with the wrong sort of people, perhaps.
Perhaps I should have been an artist's model. I look better without my clothes than with them.
I like a nice, simple woman. I can't stand these neurotic bitches. Look at Ellen. Isn't she lovely? Doesn't expect anything. She laughs, she's happy, she admires me. But it's also simple.
I'd rather have him than that other one. I mean, he'll end up in bed either way. But he might give you a box of chocolates or have a conversation. The other one would just turn over and go to sleep.
Yeah, I know the type, I know the type.
Anyway, the other shares in office and stubs out his cigarettes in a coffee cup. Paul has his own, and a thermos every morning. And he uses an ashtray. I like a clean man.
Do you really want to get married?
Of course.
A little husband, a little baby, home sweet home. Sounds like a game for little girls to me.
But you've got to have a man, otherwise you've failed.
Did you enjoy it too?
Well, I suppose...
Don't you think you've had enough?
No.
Well, it's not fair. I'm sick of talking shop to old men. Wish I was young again.
Oh, there's lots of things to admire. I mean, look at me, I may be fat and foolish, but I've got lots to offer.
If I have a girl, I'll keep her. If I have a little boy, I'll give him away. Cracker's right. People pairing off into sweet little couples forever and ever are men.
But it's too late to think like that. You've sort of opted in.
Well, look what happens in the end. Look at poor Boofy, clinging to a horrid Dickie like an old vine.
How about that, then?
You like being married, then?
Oh, I don't know. It's gone on so long, I've stopped thinking about it.
You know what I'm doing, don't you? I'm running away.
Oh, you've had too much to drink.
What should I do? What should I do? Me with a wife and child. I never wanted to be a bank clerk, you know. This is where I'm going to live and die. Me and Julia. Where's Julia?
I lie awake at nights, you know. I have terrible dreams.
Oh, really?
No, I prefer going about with girls.
And I don't much like being bored about you.
I mean, you wake up in the morning and where are you? It's not easy.
I think
Will you dance, please?
Me?
Oh, you're not paying attention. You're always off in a dream, Julia. You sit at your typewriter and you dream.
I like to work out what people think, that's all.
Well, I dare say you get it wrong.
Dare say.
What do I seem to think? About you, for example.
Well, that's easy. You think I'm worthless like everyone else.
How wrong you are. Prettier than ever tonight. Oh. Very tense. Relax. What's the matter?
I always knew about him and her, cooped up together in that office. The little bitch.
Relax. You're trembling.
Not.
Shall we get to the office? Just for peace and quiet. I find parties rather noisy.
Oh, I think we ought to stay here if you don't mind.
Yes, you're quite right. It was just a thought. Just a thought. Oh, don't dance so far away. Come closer. What have you got against me?
Nothing, really. It's just that I didn't think you'd like me quite so much.
I don't think that like has got anything to do with it.
Richard, a word in your office. And you, miss.
What's going on, Cracker?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted no part in this whole business in the first place, Richard, as you very well know.
Oh, you couldn't retire, sir, without a party.
Well, I finally, if reluctantly, agreed it was conditional.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. The place will be as new by the morning.
The place may well be. The place may very well be. I, on the other hand, am more concerned with the staff, or certain members of the staff.
Oh, there'll be a few hangovers, natural enough. But...
Your wife tells me this young woman you've been dancing with is pregnant, Richard. Is this true?
Yes.
What are you going to do about it?
Do? Why, what has it got to do with me, sir?
Well, I'm sure you can answer that far better than I can.
You're not suggesting.
Look, I'm not suggesting anything, Richard. I'm simply asking what is to be done, what you are going to do.
Oh, I see.
The bank can't tolerate this kind of thing.
Well, the bank hasn't got very much to do with it.
You will have to dismiss her.
Whatever for?
It's our only course, Richard.
Now, if I may say so, sir, I think that's been a bit harsh.
We can't have behaviour of this kind among the staff.
What do you mean among the staff, sir? I mean, if Julia's pregnant, then we've got one rather sorry little girl.
I'm not sorry, and I'm certainly not a little girl.
Exactly. Do you hear? She's not even sorry. Oh, I knew something like this would happen. It was a mistake in the first place. Office parties are always a mistake.
You mean if we hadn't been decent enough to insist on giving you a jolly good send-off, in spite of your bloody-minded and bigoted objections, you'd never even have heard of the...
There is no need to be offensive, Richard.
Well, you're not being particularly helpful, sir, if I may say so.
I don't care very much for your attitude. You're probably inebriated, I expect. I'm simply saying, as manager of this bank...
Not any longer, sir.
I expect you to dismiss this young woman forthwith.
You're not the manager any longer, sir.
Do I take it... I shall speak to head office about this, Richard.
No, please do, sir, please do. And I shall tell them about your party, and about the mess, and the noise, and the disgrace to the bank.
Come along. The party's over.
I'm sorry, sir, but your wife forced it out on me. Well, you know what she's like, sir. Oh, no. No, I didn't mean that at all. All I meant was she's very persuasive, sir. What's on?
Nothing.
Look, come on. You were in there for 10 minutes. What did he want?
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. Why? Because I want to know. I want to know what's happening to you. Of course I do.
Hadn't noticed.
Well, I do. Look, it's my baby, isn't it? I've got a right to know.
You were very interested when you were dancing with that tea girl.
Well, one's got a mix, for God's sake.
Oh, one law for men, another for women.
Yes. Do you object?
Can't very well, can I? As you say, I'm helpless.
That's what you're thinking. I'm not even minimally interested in the young lady.
Did Boofy really make a date with you?
She said the younger, the better.
You going?
Suppose so.
Perhaps I'm not forward enough. Perhaps that's what it is.
Look, are you coming?
No, I'll see her home.
Oh, no, I'd like to take her home.
I'm taking Rachel home.
I don't think she's safe with you. Well?
I can't make up my mind.
It really is time now, please. Time to go. We must start clearing up. Come along. Come along.
That's right.
Oh, come on. Let's stop all this, Julia. What did he want?
He wanted Dickie to sack me.
Because you're pregnant? But he wouldn't.
No, he said it was nothing to do with him anymore. What do I?
Well, he fancies you, I suppose.
Are you pleased about the baby?
Please? Of course I am.
Just wondered.
Well, it's natural, isn't it? I mean, husband, father.
I didn't tell Cracker, you know.
So we get married then, will we?
I thought you didn't want to be tied down.
You mean you don't?
Look, now come along, please. We must start clearing up.
Come on. Let's get on with it. Let's get organised. I don't like a muddle, you.
Well, I want a taxi.
Morning. How are you after last night?
Fine, thank you.
Morning. Good morning, sir. Yes, the lady down there, Miss Mashinsky. Not by the end. Wonderful.